Hello everybody, John here, and today onto the garage we're talking a little bit about hydraulic lines. Once again you catch me in my van, Jazzy, working away again. Wary of the fact that I haven't done you a Jaguar video in quite some time. Part of the reason for that is I'm going to do the top wishbone refurb, but I've got an MOT coming up and I don't want to disable the car just before the MOT. Plus, more directly, I'm just not at home very much at the moment. However, I do have some great images that have been sent in by you guys as subscribers I wanted to share with you on the subject of roof hydraulic lines. So our magnificent X100s come in both coupe and convertible form. And if you have the joys of the convertible, like myself, then you'll know it is a magnificent thing. It's a great roof. It is one of the few cars that looks just as nice with its roof up and down in convertible format. And it really doesn't give an awful lot of trouble. However, there is one quite well reported fault. And that's because if it happens to you, you're really not going to miss it. And it's quite a, oh my God. And that is called very often the green shower. And the green shower occurs when you get oil leaking from your interior light. And that is a hydraulic burst or leak that gathers in the area where your interior lights are on your car. Now, I did a previous video on the secrets that lie below the header rail and was able to show quite a few of the features that lie beneath that, including the location of the block manifold where these two hydraulic lines screw into. And when we do get a failure, and it's a known fault, but it is not that common, so please don't rush out and change your lines for the sake of it. It tends to be a leak in the hydraulic pipe immediately where the hard metal that screws into the manifold joins the more flexible element, or at least the pipework in the first 6 inches or so in that header rail area. Theories as to why the lines fail are manifold, but reports of failures are far more common in hot states in the States and other hot countries around the world. And if you think about the construction of the car, you've got a glass windscreen meeting a metal box with these hydraulic lines in it, right next to typically a matte black cloth roof. So you've got this really good area to intensify heat around these hydraulic lines. And you leave your car outside regularly in the Arizona sun or insert name of other hot place in the world, you're going to get a very hot set of hydraulic lines. The hydraulic fluid can degrade and it tends to thicken and sort of clog the pipes a little. And that union between the crimped on metal and the flexible element is constantly being worked by the heat and it degrades. Also, the system doesn't have a very effective overpressure relief system. So if the lines do start to clog up because the oil is thickened with heat, then it can overpressure and burst those pipes. Now, I A, live in the UK, B, live in Lincolnshire, so my car, which also lives in a garage, does not get a lot of real thermal shock in terms of high temperatures. And the hydraulic lines on Purdy, which I've had for many years, and on PJ, which I had for 12 years prior to that, have never given any problem. And because of that, I've never demonstrated how to replace the hydraulic hoses. And I'm not going to be doing that just for the sake of a video, because it is rather involved, time consuming, and I've got to buy new hydraulic lines for it. However, some of our subscribers have experienced this issue before, and so we have got some really good hints, tips and advice to share on how to get the job done. Well, the first of our magnificent subscribers I want to introduce is Udo Bress, or Udo Bress. And Udo will be familiar to many of you who get involved in the comments and chat, particularly on the live and premieres of the videos. Udo sent me some pictures of his repair to his hydraulic lines, because he'd had the green shower, and I was just so blown away with what he did in terms of a still image to share so much information about how he did the job and his advice for others. It was just amazing. So I got to share these pictures with you. They're brilliant. So Udo has laid out all the parts on his beautiful tiled floor, and we can see his sequence. So right at the top of the picture, his first item is to remove the trim panel on the top of the header rail. Then remove the light cluster, the interior lights and interior alarm sensor cluster from that same area. And yeah, my video that is on secrets below the header rail shows you all the details about how to get that off. And then remove your sun visors. Again, you can refer back to my video for that. I've got some nice close-up details for it. Once you've got those off, you can remove your A-pillar trims, which you just grab hold of and pull sort of diagonally in towards the middle of the car. Then comes the actual header rail headliner, which comes off very easily. And next, the whole tray that contains the manifold system, the claw, all the hydraulics that clamp the roof down. Now, in order to remove that, you'll actually have to undo the hydraulic connections, the unions. So they're just a spanner off situation. And there's a great video I can show you later where you'll see the details of that. Remember that you will lose oil out of those pipes at that stage, so please put something over your dashboard, your center console, to stop them from getting the oil on, because the oil is very corrosive. Number 8 looks like a steel rule in this photo, but it's the tread strip that goes on to item number 9. So the nice bit that says XK8 or XKR on our door thresholds hides a couple of screws, so you need to gently prise that up. It's glued down without bending it, and below that you'll find the 2 screws that release the trim panel, and once that trim panel's off, you've got all of the items in his first 9. Then he goes on to his list, number 10, remove the seat. Remove the seat, loosen the carpet and pull out from underneath the center console to give yourself plenty of space. Remove the rear seat and its backrest. Remove the cover and speaker panel that's in the sort of diagonal corner in the back seat area. Remove the speaker. Then raise the roof halfway. Now, in order to do this job, what you want to do is have the roof unlatched, preferably dropped, but you'll also go into the boot and turn the little tap on the compressor, the hydraulic pump, anti-clockwise, which allows the fluid to flow freely in and out if you work the roof manually, so there's no restriction at all in there. Then you can raise the roof halfway and remove a lot of the clips from the hydraulic lines that you'll be able to see running under the area where the speaker in the back seat was covering it all up. And then you can remove your hydraulic lines. Udo's next picture is a brilliant tip that if you forget it, you're going to have a dull moment. And that is, when you come to remove your hydraulic lines, you can pull them out of the car. Why don't you tie on a piece of rope or line to them, and then as you're pulling them out of the car, you're threading the rope through that same path. meaning when it comes to reinstall, you can tie the new hydraulic lines on and use the other end of the rope to help draw them back through the same path, because a couple of the areas are really difficult to thread the pipes back up, particularly up the side of the dashboard. We've also got this great image which is going to put us all to shame, how well he's organised all his clips, trims, bolts, as he's removed them to keep them in order and sequence so he knows what goes where. Yeah, very, very good stuff. Udo chose not to get genuine hydraulic lines from Jaguar. He got some braided hoses made up, which are a lot more robust. And you'll note on this picture, he's let the person making up those lines for him know that one line is shorter than the other and by how much. Now, given the length of the lines, you'd think, oh, I'll get some wriggle room, I'll be able to just slide one of them back. But they're a lot stiffer than you think. They're clipped together. So having that distance between the two terminations line up nicely with the joints is really quite critical. So great piece of work, Udo. Thank you so much for sharing the pictures. They're a joy. They're a joy. They should be in a Haynes manual. Now, whenever anybody asks me on email or in the comments, John, can you help me? I need to change the hydraulic lines. Have you done a video on it? Can you talk me through it? I know how it's done, but as I say, I've never done it. And what I always end up doing is recommending go see our mate Gary Mees. Hi, Gary. And Gary has another YouTube channel called Jag Vet1. Vet as in Corvette. All one word. And Gary's channel is actually Jaguar dominant. He's got Mark II Jaguar has been restoring nut and bolt, beautiful car, and a great series of videos. And even if you're not into Mark IIs, it's just great to watch somebody who knows what they're doing working nice and methodically. I just enjoy watching it. He's also got an XK8 and has done a lot of videos in connection with that, and will do more in the future. But also he fixes other people's trucks and Mercs and all sorts of bits and pieces. Really, really great channel. And he's a Brit, and a true Brit as well, because despite living in Arizona, he hasn't lost any of his British accent. And parental warning, he speaks in proper English, which means some of it's a little bit broad. So not for the children, but love you, Gary, and appreciate everything you do. His video on, or 3 videos I think, on how to do this job is a resource everybody should use. So if you're going to go for the whole thing, definitely watch Gary's videos. He'll give you loads of hints and tips, and you have loads of images that you can freeze frame on and use as your guide to make this as easy as it can be. And the last one I wanted to share was a couple of great images sent in by, I'm going to get this wrong, I apologise, I'm going to go for it now, Idalecio Maleno. Very sorry if I've just murdered your name there, Idalecio, but that's my best guess at the pronunciation. If you want to type in the comments sort of phonetic how I should try and pronounce it. So hopefully no offence taken. Idalecio sent in 2 great images. The first one, which I'm sharing now, is showing in situ, still attached to the header rail, the classic area where these hoses go. So as we say, it is where the union meets the hose material itself. And whether that's just by the pressure builds up and that's the weakest spot because of the crimp, or because of the heat effect and the metal moving at a different rate to the PTFE, I guess, on the hose, causing it to keep chomping away at it, or because the hoses twitch when the roof is put up and put down, and of course they can't twitch on the metal part, and the effect is a fatiguing. Whatever it is, they always seem to go there. You don't hear of people getting leaks in mysterious areas in their sills or under their carpets. It's always the green shower. The second picture is really interesting because Idalecio took his car, and he's from Portugal, so another hot country, to a local provider who made up hydraulic hoses, but he got the car there with them. And so rather than have complete new set of hoses made up and the associated effort of dismantling the car and getting hoses out, reinserting them, etc., etc., they replaced just the last 6 inches or so of the hose. And this hose has done the job for him, and it cost him €100. That's to have a custom hose made up with the guys looking at the unions and cutting it out. And that's, I haven't checked this, but that'll be of the order of, I don't know, £87, £89, something like that. So a very, very reasonable cost. And of course, if you are able to do that, then the effort required to complete the job is much lower. And yeah, there's going to be a little bit of, yeah, but the rest of the hose is still as old as it ever was. But as we say, it's only that last section that seems to go. Do we transfer the problem 6 inches further down the line? We don't know. We don't know. But another great fix. So again, I'd like to thank Idalecio. I'd like to thank Udo. I'd like to thank Gary Mees. And if you've not already subscribed to Gary's channel, then do me a favour, nip over, go and have a look at JagVet1, Digit 1, as a YouTube channel. Have a look at one of the videos on there, and if that's your sort of thing, then subscribe to Gary, because I know he'd appreciate that. And he's got some really interesting stuff coming up soon, because I suspect, but don't know, him and his brother have just bought yet another project. He's not revealed whether they have yet, but I'm pretty sure there's yet another Jaguar going to end up in his garage. If you're enjoying our channel, then don't forget to subscribe and click the little bell icon so you get notifications of new videos. And please give us a thumbs up or thumbs down, and you can share the videos. And below the video is always the area where you can comment and get involved with the chat.